Hey everybody, welcome back to part two of doing a financial needs analysis. Now we're going to take that information and we're going to put it into the FNA, the Financial Needs Analysis System. So the first thing you want to do is log in to Primerica Online. When you go in to do an FNA and to input the information into the financial needs analysis, you're going to go up here to Turbo Apps. We need to add the contact to our system first. Okay. We're going to hit add new contact. So I agree. All right, I always go up here and hit expand all. We're going to go in here. You're going to use this, all the information on here and any notes you took to input into the system online. So you're not going to see my page. This is all my information, but you're just going to see me input it. All right, so pretty basic. I'm going to try to fly through this as quick as I can of 2014. Activity, this will just show you right here if there's been any activity like a life insurance application, an FNA, anything like that that you've done through Turbo Apps. And then down here you can click qualifiers. They are homeowners, they're employed, they are between ages 25 and 45. I would say 55 or even 65. They are married and they have children. All right, so they are a 5-pointer. 4 and 5-pointers are the ones you definitely want to go see on your training appointments. And then we're going to go up here and click add. So they are in our system. So we added them. Sometimes I double click, hit save just to make sure everything's in there. Then I am already on their information, right? Otherwise, if I was just under my contact list, I'd have to find them in my contacts and then click FNA. But since they are up right here and I have their page, I'm going to click FNA, it's your financial needs analysis, and we're going to jump right in. So under the first one, personal, we're just going to fill out any information that is missing or we didn't get to yet. All right, so contact info should also have, oh, you need to provide them their privacy notice, right? That's policy. We need to provide them a policy notice anytime that we collect personal information. All right, and then there's an acknowledgement and consent page. You can have them sign as well, which is right there. They provide them both to you in PDF if you don't have them physically. And then I will just say, yep, I did all that. Hit OK. There's their address, email, cell phone. So one of the first things you want to have them do, right, is let you know how much they make. Fred, he makes 5,000 a month. Other income, nope, he just has one primary job. That's what he makes. Monthly income taxes are 750. Wilma makes 1,000. All right, so Wilma is mostly a stay-at-home mom, but she is self-employed, just as kind of a side business, does some music lessons on the side. And we're just gonna say pay 150 in taxes. Again, you can get more specific with this. I don't have actual pay stubs and that kind of stuff, so I can't see exactly what they make. But you can ballpark it too based off of their tax bracket. Fred's employer. So do you normally, now we move down to this question down here. Do you normally receive a tax refund? Most kind of average families, average income, people with kids, many will receive a tax refund. So say yes, they will, and a box will pop up. How much do you anticipate this year? 9 times out of 10, I will just say, what'd you get last year? Right. And go off that because people really don't, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to know, like, well, I have no idea what to anticipate, but this is what I got last year. And you can go off that. So let's say $3,000. Okay, great. Now another thing pops up. If you can talk about this, how they can change their withholdings, get less money withheld, so more money in their paycheck, but they're going to get less of a tax refund. Otherwise, when you get a tax refund, you're literally just overpaying the government and giving them a tax-free loan, and then they're just giving it back to you at the end of the year. But $3,000 tax refund could be an extra $250 in their monthly pay. Right, so that can actually be a pretty drastic difference in their monthly finances. Do you want to see how the savings could impact your financial program? Most people are going to say, well, yeah, I'd be curious. Now, some people love their tax refund and they count on their tax refund. And I went over this in the first video, I believe, but just take it as a case by case basis. If they don't want to touch that tax refund, that's their choice. You can still make the recommendation, but if they decide not to, it would be a no, and you just move on from there. Jump to the next tab, savings for retirement. Okay, so they are currently saving for retirement. And then you're going to ask them, okay, what age would you like to retire? Life expectancy, right? And again, when I in the other video, I always joke, this is where I asked, hey, when do you want to die? But we're gonna leave Fred's alone, right? Because maybe he said that his, excuse me, maybe we said that his, or he said that his, the male ancestors on his side all passed away early. So we're just gonna leave the computer estimate. Wilma, maybe the female ancestors on her side lived longer historically, so we'll up it to 90. Want to make sure they have plenty of income in retirement and enough. We want to make sure that their income outlasts them, right? That they don't outlast their income. So what is your gross income pre-tax? All right, that carried over from the income page we did. And then how much monthly household income would you like to in retirement? This gives you a standard of 80% because you figure in retirement, they should be debt free. If you've done this plan, if they've followed your plan correctly, they should be debt free. They should not have, right? So they don't even have the mortgage. Many people mortgages a fifth, a fourth, a third of their monthly income. So 80% is very usually fine. It's even generous sometimes of how much money they'll actually need in retirement. So we'll say 80% or 4,800 a month. Income during retirement. This you can calculate again if someone has, like businesses, that kind of stuff, real estate build up that they know they're going to have income. Otherwise, I just kind of leave these blank to go strictly off of the money. Benefits. We're going to input the information. Again, Social Security, I talked about it last time, but you can mark yes or no. Now they are, let's see, they're low to mid 40s. All right, so I'm going to actually show you what I do sometimes is I'll hit details for a more detailed view. I'll click yes, and I'll say, hey, okay, it's estimating 1,800 for him, 1,300 for her. So what I'll do is I'll round down to about 75% of that. I did not do the math here. I apologize. So we're going to say 1,350 for him. We're going to customize it, enter other benefits, and we're going to say 1,000 for her. So I'm going to say, yes, they're probably going to get Social Security, but it might not be what, it would be as of today because the reserves are actually scheduled to, the Social Security reserves are scheduled to run out in about 10 or 11 years. So start benefits at other age. We're going to say, we're actually going to say no. We're going to leave that standard. So we'll say they will pull at a full retirement age of 67. Even though they're retiring at 65, they should have plenty of investments to live off of until they pull Social Security. Pension, we're going to leave that blank because they don't have a pension. Move on, assets. So the next question, how much do you currently have saved for retirement? So you're going to hit yes, right? That should trigger, oh, we might need to do a rollover, 401k rollover to an IRA. They have other options too. You need to go through all the options for them, but that's what a lot of people end up going with. Have you rolled them over to a personal account yet? No, they have not. Now, she is self-employed and she's currently not putting anything towards retirement. So we're just going to say 0, 0. That's easy. How much do you contribute monthly? So we're going to say that he gets a 4% match. Okay, so he makes 60 grand a year. We're going to say he gets a 4% match, a $200 per month contribution, and his employer matches dollar for dollar. Yippee, we all love free money, right? Non-retirement assets, let's just say they don't have anything else invested. They just have, like a savings account, and they just have money sitting in the bank, and it's $5,000. Now, keep in mind, if you're thinking in your head, okay, they have an emergency fund of $5,000. That's what's in the bank. But you put 5,000 here, and then on the emergency fund page up here, you put 5,000 again. The system thinks those are two separate numbers. So it's going to count it as $10,000, 5,000 and 5,000. So if you know ahead of time that, hey, this is their emergency fund, but they just keep it in the bank. That's all they have, extra cash. Where I usually just leave this blank, and then I'll put the 5,000 in the emergency fund later. So again, this current income. So here's their results page. Results, current income, $6,000. Income go 80%. Income go in today's dollars, 4,800, right? That's 80% of what they make today. But in the future, when they go to retire, with inflation, cost of living increase, it's actually going to be $9,000. Okay. And here are some things before I go over this. I'm going to show you how to change this, but this says rate of return, estimated rate of return. Well, if they have a long time to invest, they should be averaging the stock market, right? So they should be up about 9%. And then between good investments and annuities, they can probably average about 5% in retirement. Well, How do we change these numbers? I'm glad you asked. So you go up here, click assumptions. Okay, and then scroll down. So there's life assumptions, retirement assumptions, and other. This one's under retirement. And here are rates of return. Okay, so during accumulation, basically while they're working, during retirement, while they're living on retirement money. So a conservative investment, 4% 2, moderate 6 and 3. I usually don't change these, but I will change the aggressive because usually when they're younger and they have, 15, 20, 30, 40 years to invest, you're going to be a little bit more aggressive. So I will change this to 9 and I'm going to change this to 5. Again, follow your trainer's lead, your RVP's lead, but this is what I do. Now, some people, maybe they're not sure of their retirement age. So when you get the printout, it's going to show you what your financial numbers are and how much you need to save and invest every month based on your goal of age 65. But if you're like, well, I could work longer than that, or hey, I'd kind of like to see the numbers earlier, 5 years might be a lot. I usually change it to about 3 and 3. Okay. Or if you say, hey, I want to see what it looks like to retire, what I need to do to retire at age 60. You can see right here, age 60, age 68. So these are different options. You can change this to whatever. I usually just kind of go 3 and 3 to give them a rough idea of retiring a little early or working a little later, what that looks like. You're going to save these assumptions, and it'll bring you right back to the page you were on. They retire at age 65, and then they expire at that time, right? 83 and 90. So it gives you how long they live into retirement, right? So this is how long they have until retirement. This is how long they'll live in retirement, how long they need income for. And these are all just estimates. Obviously, we can't predict the future. Current retirement savings total is 105,000, right? 90 from him, 15,000 from her. And then total monthly savings, she's not saving anything, so it's just his total 400, which breaks down to 200 from him, 200 from the employer. We're going to say the inflation rate is about 3% average, but they should get 9% while they're saving and investing before retirement and 5% after. So here, for a lot of people, you're going to see this warning, and you can read through all this. It tells you where you stand based on your income. Your projected income will need to be 9,000 per month, right? Instead of the 4,800, that would be 80% of your income now on the last page. To provide your retirement income goal for life, you will need to accumulate 1.4 million by Fred's retirement age of 65. This is your financial independence number. So the FIN number, the financial independence number, that is this number right here. Okay. One way to accomplish this is to personally save $835 per month. It's currently $635 more than you're currently saving and 13.9% of your income. So if you look here, it's saying what you personally need to invest. Okay. To meet your goal, you need 1,035, but it says personally you need 835 because 200 of it was already factored in with the employer contributions, right? Right here. So this is what you need. This is what your employer contributes. That's the difference that you need to contribute. So 200 of that is already coming into the 401k personally. So that brings you down to the 635 extra. So we need to figure out how to find $635 a month for this person to retire well. Now, a lot of people, they were recruited into this business and joined this business because of a shortfall. Okay, this is estimated what they'll have at retirement. This is what they need, and that's the difference. So that is a shortfall. So you could ask them, hey, do you have another way to earn an extra $635 a month or more? If I could show you a way that completely on your schedule, with just a little bit of time invested per week, that you could make that extra $635, would that be something that would interest you, or do you at least be open to? And a lot of people are going to say yes, right? Not everybody's going to join the business, but that's a good way to open up that recruiting conversation. So how long are your savings projected to last? 17 years versus 27 years is the goal. Okay, so that's what we want. Now down here, it'll break it apart a different way, saying, hey, if you're going to retire at age 65, you need to save altogether 1,035, which we already saw up here. This is just breaking it down simpler. Many times it depends on the client and their situation. I may not spend much time on this section. I'll show them their financial independence number. I'll show them their shortfall if they have one or not. And again, you got to judge by the people and their situation, and you'll learn that over time. But a lot of times I will scroll down here because a lot of people want to see what they'd have to save to retire early, right? You say, hey, you need to save 1,035 a month right now to retire the way you'd like to retire, or if you want to retire early at age 62, you need that much, 1,869. But if you're okay working till age 68 and you like your job, you enjoy what you're doing, you're in good health, technically you only need to save 465, but let's not plan on that, right? I always say that. Let's not plan on that. Let's plan for this, if not this. That way, if you want to keep working longer, you have even more money. So we're going to come up here. Those are the savings for retirement results. Next is debt resolution. So I'm going to go to my debt resolution page. First is the mortgage. Is it paid off? No, it's not. They still have a mortgage, and it's going to be the Bank of America, right? Which is, I looked it up. That is actually what the bank is called in the Flintstones. I did not know that. Bank of America. Current balance. So what they still owe on their mortgage, 120,000. Now the actual principal and interest, right? So everybody's just going to tell you what their mortgage payment is. It's 1,300 a month, right? But a lot of times that can be including escrow, which could include their homeowner's insurance, and it can include their monthly taxes, PMI if they have PMI, right? So it can include more than just the principal and interest. So you want to figure out, you want to get good at looking at mortgage statements and doing the math and figuring out what their principal and interest payment is. So for easy numbers, let's just say their principal and interest payment is 1,000, but they love the idea of getting out of debt sooner, right? So they want to say they're putting an extra $250 per month onto their mortgage. They got a great rate of 3%. And let's say the home is valued at $275,000 now in today's dollars. Okay, monthly expenses, property taxes, we have them at 200. Homeowners insurance is, let's just say 80 a month, and they don't owe, usually it's less than 20% that you put down or that you owe, or that you've paid off, I should say, is you end up having to have private mortgage insurance. They don't need private mortgage insurance. And then this is always going to be included in the analysis, and then we're always going to try to run this debt analysis to accelerate their repayment, basically to fuel the debt stacking process. Those are automatically checked on the first one. Now, second mortgage and consumer debt. So this includes all other debt. And then you do want to include all of these in repayment. But let's say he has a truck loan. And the current balance of the truck loan, he's got 20,000 left to pay off. Minimum payment is not 5,000, 500 per month. He does not pay any extra on that, and his interest rate is 5%. Now, auto loans, traditional regular personal loans, that kind of stuff, they are always going to be fixed loans. So you want to make sure you change that to fixed. Now we're going to add more because they also have credit cards. So credit card number one. Credit cards, you're going to leave at revolving. So once you're done, it'll show you your totals down here. Okay, it'll even give you average interest rate and everything, what you're paying in addition. So overpaying between all of the debts, 250 plus 100 is 350, all your totals down here. Okay, results. This is beautiful, by the way. So where you stand right now. So when you go back to the client, you could say, hey, right now, as of now, if you just continue what you're doing and make no changes, you'll be debt free at age 54 and 52, right? So Fred will be debt free at age 54. You'll have paid $29,000 in interest, right? Obviously, we didn't make a change, so you didn't avoid any interest, and that'll put you at about 10 years and 1 month to be debt free. That's by paying total of $1,750 on your mortgage and your loans, and then an extra $350 because that's what you're currently doing, right? So $2,100. Now, if we simply just restructure how you do this and we make sure that you debt stack and you pay off, you take that payment. Once that's paid off, you stack it on the next one, stack it till they're all gone. Just simply debt stacking, they will pay $19,000 in interest at 29, so that's a net savings of $10,000 in interest, and they are projected to pay off in 6 years and 9 months instead of 10 years. And you can highlight this stuff for them, right? So look, that is 3 years and 4 months sooner just by having a debt strategy. That's not paying an extra penny. onto paying off your debt at all, right? Nothing, nada. Okay. The beautiful thing is here, we're saying, hey, you're used to paying 2,100, and in 6 years and 9 months, you're not going to be paying 2,100 towards debt anymore. That is $2,100 per month, and that's the house and everything too, right? It is gone, complete, done in 6 years and 9 months. So if you just keep paying that $2,100, but you're no longer in debt, so you now pay it to yourself and you invest, once your other debts are paid off at age 51 for Fred, consider saving that 2,100 that we spent paying towards debt each month. This could provide an additional $702,000 by Fred's retirement age of 65. Now, do you remember what the shortfall was? Shortfall was like 400 some thousand. So just by debt stacking and them being responsible and making, good decisions once that debt's paid off, in their plan, they will already make up that shortfall. All right. Now, if you are trying to recruit them, you may mention this, but you may not want to sell it like, hey, you're golden, you're good, you're fine. Because what do we know about life? Life happens. So in 6 years and 9 months, let's say they followed the plan, the debt stacking plan to a T, and they're debt free in 6 months, 6 years and 9 months. But at 6 years and 10 months, they have a major medical issue, and all of a sudden Fred can't go to work, or Fred has to seriously cut back his hours. Right? That is going to affect things big time. They're not going to be putting away what they need to put away for retirement. Okay, so they still very well need our opportunity. But the beautiful thing is when creating a strategy, you can help show them that this is a possible extra $700,000 that they can have towards retirement just by being disciplined. Get in here, play around, do some fake financial needs analysis, do your own, obviously. You should have already done that if you haven't, but make sure you get it done. And you can get in here and play with some fake ones like I'm doing now and get used to this system. Change the numbers up, get used to how to, talk about it, present it to imaginary people. So we're in debt resolution now, results, we're gonna jump to life insurance. And then you ask the question, what was the purpose for the life insurance? Why did you buy this life insurance? Was it for, and you can kind of guide the answer, you can leave it open-ended, but I like to kind of guide it and say, was it for the income protection? The actual, covering expenses and kind of replacing income, or was it for like a savings account? Like, were we trying to save money through that, or what was the situation there? And you'll get different responses. And I believe I talked last training about that and how to respond to it. But just for the purpose of this, we're going to go through and enter this. Fred has 50,000 of coverage. Wilma has 10,000 of coverage. The children have 50,000 of coverage. If that seems wrong and that sounds weird, this happens all the time. So let's say Fred, right? He was older when he got the 50,000, so he pays 100 a month because it is whole life. Wilma pays 40 a month, and for the kids, they pay 50 a month for that coverage. And maybe it's 25,000 on each kid, and we put 50 total. Whatever that is, you can put that in here. And we'll just put this in that yes, we're planning to replace this if we come up with our own strategy, right? Which we will. Assets, this will carry their assets over, right? Because you need to know, it's going to bring up a whole analysis. You'll see in a minute. So assets here, non-retirement. Again, we were saving that extra $5,000 to put in the emergency fund. Needs, right? We already did this page. It carried it all over. Down here, so you're going to see that's their income, right? What is your current income? If Fred dies, now if Fred dies, right, they're going to sell the truck probably. You're not going to have his truck payment. They are not, sorry, let me switch my page here. They, maybe Fred eats a lot, right? They're going to save some money on food and, just other expenses and whatnot. So maybe they don't really need 100% of his income to be okay. Maybe they only need about 75% of it. You put in the percentage, it'll adjust there, or you can put in the dollar amount and it'll show you what the percentage is. It works either way. And then we're going to say 15 years, right? About 15 years, because the kids will be grown up and gone by that point. They'd both be much closer to retirement age and soon able to access their retirement savings. So 75 for him and maybe 100% for her, right? If he survives and she's the one that passes, and these are conversations you do want to have with them, like, hey, if this person passes away, are you planning to go get a job? Would you want to not have to get a job? All that goes into what you put in here. Well, we're going to say 100% because he's probably thinking like, oh man, like if something happens to her, I need someone that can take care of the kids. So I'm going to have to pay for, some sort of babysitter here and there because the one kid's still only 10 years old. Maybe you have to pay somebody to run around and do errands for you or clean the house or whatever. So he still wants her $1,000 a month that she makes to come in. So it'd be 100%, and we'll say again that same 15 years. If you have young children, or the client has young children, lots of times I will put in till the youngest child is 18 or maybe 22, about the time they graduate college, or you could put 25, whatever. You just, again, each situation is always going to be a little bit different. You figure out what works for you. So immediate cash needs, yes, we want to see them pay off the mortgage, which is already in there in gray. Okay. Yes, we want to see them pay off consumer debt if they pass away with the life insurance, right? So it's going to be added into how much they need. And then a lot of people, some people want to fund their kids' education with life insurance, others don't care, whatever. For this purpose, I'm just going to not include that. But I will say that we need to pay funeral expenses. And again, it does not cost $8,000. That is probably just a cremation with no service, nothing, right? That's very cheap for today. So we're going to say 20,000. I always put 20,000 in here. Results. This jumps in and shows exactly how much dollar for dollar based on what we input and what they need. So he needs 697,000. She needs 320, right? Now, based on what they currently have, if money is a big issue, you can start them at 500,000 and 250 because that's better than what they have. But this is what they need. So again, when you get back with them, you can show them, hey, we'll show you what it costs to put $1 million on you and $500,000 on Wilma, 500,000 on Fred, and 250 on Wilma, or something in between. And you can kind of play that game of showing them different quotes. But there is this option to put this in the FNA. Again, I don't include that. I just don't like to. I like to actually do my quotes. I'll do them on the app, and then I'll either write it out on a plan for them, or I'll print out the actual quotes and include it when I come back. So the printed out quotes look pretty professional. I do it right on the our Agent Primerica app. So moving on to the next triplicate of choice. Again, this is the one I said that I don't typically really use. It gives you alternatives, different amounts, right here, different amounts, different years, different, if they replace or don't replace, whatever. Education needs. So this is awesome. So you can actually go in here and let's say Pebbles is not planning to go to college, so we're not going to include that. She already knows what she wants to do. Bam Bam plans to go to college. All right, Bam Bam wants to go to college. I don't know what Bam Bam's going to do, but college is in the future. Okay, so we're going to look it up for, not for Pebbles. We're going to look it up. So you can actually just assume kind of an average four-year public school, and it's going to give you a rough cost. Or you can say, hey, we are huge Penn State fans. All of our family, if they go to college, they go to Penn State. There is no other college, right? So you can actually go here and search for the school. Search by name, Penn State. And I'm going to say go. And all the different Penn States show up. University Park, right here. So there it shows their tuition fees, books and supplies, room and board. Total annual cost, $33,482. And that's if they're in state. Okay, if they're coming from out of state, from a different state, and they want to go to Penn State, those costs go up. But they are in state. Okay. So there. That you can look that up, hit save, boom. Now that changed his amount of how much he needs to save. And let's say they have, I don't know, let's just say I didn't include this, but let's just say they have 10,000 saved already, and they contribute $100 a month towards his college now. So when you look up the results, it's going to show you, based on his age and college age, it's going to show you how much of a shortfall you have and how much more you need to save if you want to save 100% of his college needs. Now, if you go back to needs and they say, hey, we are only planning to pay for half of his college, he can pay the rest, or just say like, hey, we're probably not going to have enough. Let's just try to cover at least a quarter of it. Go back to results, and it's going to adjust that number. Goals and dreams works kind of similar, but you can just customize. Let's say they want a boat, right? Cost in today's dollars. I don't really buy boats, but Let's say it's 15,000 and we want to have a boat in 5 years. Okay, from today. So the date wanted would be in 2029. So you could just say, let's, have it by May of 2029. That's 4 years, 9 months. Current savings, let's say we don't have anything saved and we're not currently saving anything. Well, what you would need to do is you would need to save $276 a month towards your boat fund. Emergency fund, remember we said we were going to say, hey, they have 5,000 saved, but they make 6 grand a month combined. So 5,000 is only going to cover maybe like 1 month of expenses. So how much do you contribute each month? Well, they don't contribute to the emergency fund because they feel like it was pretty good, but you kind of explain the math of it. You say, hey, you really should probably have about 15,000 saved because if something happens, that gives you 3 full months of income or expenses, whatever you want to go. And a lot of experts will say you should have 3 to 6 months of expenses covered if something were to, happen to your main provider's income or both of you or whatever. And when do you want to achieve this goal? Well, a year would be good, but that's 10 grand to save. So maybe that's too much. Or again, if they say, yeah, I want to have that in a year, that's another reason why they should join us in our opportunity and make some extra money. Because now it's shown they need to save $800 extra a month just in their emergency fund. So now that plus the shortfall, they need to make an extra 1,500 a month. They really should join our opportunity, right? So moving on, other protection. So here's where you can talk about, and I'm not going to fill these out, but you can include the auto insurance. Homeowners insurance is already pulled over from the mortgage, the debt page. Legal protection, well, they don't really have legal protection right now. They don't have a lawyer on retainer or anything like that. And this kind of shows you Primerica Legal, PLPP that we offer is $28 per month. So it shows you the alternative. You can fill this out and view forms and applications, everything right here. I'm going to move along though. Budget and financial position. So here's a budget worksheet you can actually go through and do with them. Personally, I don't do it on here. What I do is in the F&A packet, and you don't have to print off the whole packet to get it, but in the F&A packets, like the education, goals and dreams, all about home legal protection, it prints out a budget worksheet that looks pretty much just like the one that's on your computer, right? But it prints that out, and then I do it in hand with them. I don't do a budget for everybody, but the ones that really want one done or need one done, we'll go through a budget, and it provides a lot of value and can really help you out in how you can help them, right? Which in turn will end up paying you more, either now or down the road. But we're all about adding value to our clients, and you will get paid either short term or long term or both based on the value you add to your clients. Financial position is the next tab. This really is just kind of be a pie chart. It's going to show them, hey, 35% of their income is going to debt, including the house, right? Insurance, living expenses, savings, taxes. It breaks it apart. Down here, it shows their net worth, right? This is your total value of what you're worth, including your home value, minus what you owe yet on everything. So assets, right? Assets minus liabilities gives you your net worth. So assets minus liabilities, boom, this is their net worth. And again, you can praise them. Say, hey, a lot of people in your position at your age, whatever your income level, their net worth is not 245,000. So very good job. Let's keep boosting that, right? And encourage them to continue to even do better than they are. But clients feel great when you compliment them. So we can go here and customize more of the commitment and program. Again, that's that other commitment page I just talked about. And you can schedule a follow-up visit and time. So there's a Your Program tab up here as it loads. Sorry. This is kind of a cool little visual. It plugs your numbers in already, right, of what you need to do to save for that boat, to save for that kid, which oddly are the same amount. Savings for retirement, you need 835 beyond what your employer is contributing. Remember, debt resolution. So you're currently paying 2,100 a month just in debt. And it kind of gives you it's their financial house, right? So the more information you put in here, the better this is. But again, some of us, like myself, I do a little bit more outside the F&A. But this F&A is a great tool to help you, especially when you're brand new, to just literally walk you through every piece of what you need to do. And then we get to the income opportunity. So this is fantastic, right? We already talked about recruiting on the shortfall, that kind of stuff, and say, hey, they needed to make an extra 1,500 a month to pay for all those different things that they wanted to do. So we're going to hit 1500 and calculate. So that's a beautiful thing. You can customize this. And if maybe you've already had that conversation and that's a number in their head they want to try to make, well, then you say, hey, look, with 1500 bucks a month, you could pay off debt sooner. Okay. You could pay it off and save this much in interest and save that much sooner. Not going to go through every single number with you. You guys can play with this and see. You can save 1.2 million more extra beyond what we already said in retirement by working with us. Right? You can, just put it in a 2% savings in 5 years, you get them 94,000 in emergency fund, right? It's a nice boost to their emergency fund. Or you can just do other things, live their goals and dreams, right? And boom, it gives you a link to get started today. So you can do that. But when you print it out, obviously, there's no link. It's a physical paper, but it still will show this page. So then when you are done, when you've input everything, you can go up here to print. It'll take just a minute. And then you can go down here and customize every single individual page that you want or don't want in your financial needs analysis. So let's say we want to print preview. It's loading. But it will create this for you, and then you can have it in a PDF. Now you have to send it compliantly to them if you do it electronically. I like to print it out and go over with them in person. Especially if it's a higher net worth client or you just want to provide the best service, you can get a nice little like plastic, folder, whatever, and put, even a binding type of thing and put it all together, however you want to do it, because I don't want you to sell completely on presentation. We should be selling on value and the value we're bringing to our clients, but it doesn't hurt to present it a little bit nicer. And then this will print out and again, hopefully you already saw something like this. Hopefully you've already done your financial needs analysis and you have your own, but this will print out everything that we just went over. And it'll show you a few different things that you probably didn't see. So like this graph of how long your money is going to last versus your goal versus what you have now, your debt to income ratio, 29%, and it shows this bar, which is impactful to them. The debt's up here, and then the debt plan and the actual debt stacking. So you have all these beautiful pages that you can go theory of decreasing responsibility. This is why our life insurance is the best and everyone else's is not as good. And this, I literally will tell people, I said, this is our time to brag. This is why our company is, or this is why our life insurance is great and everyone else's is not. And I kind of, if I can joke with them, right? If they're people with a sense of humor, I'll kind of joke around. I was like, this is our brag sheet, right? This just tells you why we're better than everybody else. And again, you don't want to do it arrogantly. I do it jokingly, but still kind of slip it in there. And then you can go through all this individual stuff. Again, I'm not going to take all the time to go through this, but there are some great key things that you want to point out in here to really build up what we do and the value of our life insurance. There's their house. There's the income opportunity again, and then it literally will have all the data you entered. So that is it for the financial needs analysis input sheet. Now, what I do personally, and what a lot of other people do as well, is they will do this. And then in addition to that, I will actually go in just to, Word, Microsoft Word, whatever. And then you're going to go down through and basically create an action plan, a step-by-step action plan. This is what I do, and it works out great because it literally gives them a step-by-step plan, like model on how to start living out their financial needs analysis. The financial needs analysis is the big game strategy. And then you have like kind of a starting point action plan. And that's what I use for my clients. So hopefully that was helpful. See you at the top.